What's up, guys? You should be watching our Twitch every Monday and Wednesday at twitch.com/Daydreamer Media. And you should be telling your friends, unless you're in a big money league. Then fuck them.
Welcome into the Fantasy Daydreamers podcast. I am JJ. You guys can follow me on Twitter at JJ Daydreamers. With me, I have Ryan.
What's up, guys? You know the Twitter ROKKO
Rock.
Daydreamer. Check me out there.
And Keone.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody of all denominations. Oh boy, it's another week in the fantasy football sphere, and it's going to be another week of me probably tweeting up things. You know, trades are done, but you can see me trading in my fingerprints as I'm speedily typing away all the tweets that are going to be coming out this football weekend exclusively on Twitter at Daydreamer Keone. Brought it around.
And if you want to see Keone dance, go ahead and head over to our social media at FF Daydreamers. It's a good video. You guys should go watch it. And follow us while you're on the page. So, Producer Ian on the ones and twos with us today. Thank you, Producer Ian. Let's get into some news. Raiders running back Josh Jacobs will be getting limited practice, if any, dealing with his calf strain, the same strain he was dealing with before last week's game, where he was the running back one on the week.
Yeah, that's what makes, like, you know, it's like, oh, he had this last week, and then, you know, he ran off. Like, they gave him a little break at the end of the fourth quarter, and then he proceeds to, you know, break.
Overtime happens.
Yeah, he proceeds to break like Vegas or, you know, Raiders records for total scrimmage yards, I guess, at the position or whatever. But yeah, he had a good game, just to say the least. So I'm not too worried about this.
Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers plans on playing this week. Big ol' eye roll.
Boo.
Yeah, but I think they might really win playing the Bears. So
Yeah,
he'll put up some stats.
he still owns them. Patriots wide receiver Jacoby Myers says he will play against the Bills on Thursday night. That's tonight's game.
Good for him.
Yeah. Staying away from starting Jacoby Myers.
Probably. I'll probably only go with, if you have him, Stevenson on the
Agreed.
Patriots. And otherwise, stay away.
Steelers running back Najee Harris did not practice on Wednesday. He was ruled out of Monday night's game rather early. Still not practicing. Warren,
Did you guys see anything on Jalen Warren?
Warren was a full participant at practice on Wednesday.
Oh, damn.
So he's back. He's looking like he's going to play. He says he's playing, so whatever that means to you. Is he someone you would add, looking at if Najee actually doesn't go? Because
Harris is gone. I could see Snell and Warren getting like a little committee.
As a Steeler fan, we know what Snell is, bro. Get him out of there.
Yeah, fair.
Change of pace, relieve back, but like he doesn't need to be more than that.
I think Warren could be a flex play.
Yeah.
Yeah, JJ's got Tomlin on the line. Be like, push Warren.
I agree. Yeah. I like him. Jets running back Michael Carter is dealing with a low ankle sprain. He is considered day to day at the moment.
I get, there's so many people now moving teams. I think, you know, with the Jets and the Jags it's just, I can't remember who plays on which team, because it's like, is it Darrell Henderson or is it
Darrell Henderson was on the Jags.
Okay.
James Robinson was a healthy scratch last week. I think he's going to be Knight, the running back there for the Jets.
Wayne Knight?
The
actor?
Oh, it's like
the actor in Space Jam? and Jurassic
no,
Park.
what's his first name?
What? Knight?
Really not.
I think it's Zonovan or something.
Yeah, Zonovan Knight. That's what it is. And I think he'll be the one there. Just because Robinson, a healthy scratch, doesn't seem to fit in.
I don't think I would. I don't think. Would you start him?
No.
Okay. I think if you're going to start anybody from the Jets, maybe as a streamer, Mike White, Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, yeah.
Maybe Elijah Moore now that he's, getting the ball thrown to him. Other than that, I think those are the big three.
That'll do it for the news. Let's get into some start-sit questions. So, if you guys have any questions, you guys can send them to us on our social media, DM us at FFDaydreamers on all social media, or on Twitch, Monday and Wednesday nights. We're live. You guys can come slide in the chat, ask us your fantasy football questions. So, first question, Jeff Wilson at San Francisco or Tony Pollard versus the Indianapolis Colts?
Pollard. The San Francisco defense is something different right now, and I know Jeff Wilson has been good on the Dolphins. And I know he knows his defense. I get it. But I think this game is going to be through the air. If the Dolphins win, Jeff Wilson is not going to be the guy I'm starting this week. Give me Pollard.
I agree with that. I think Jeff Wilson, it's the top run defense in the league. It's a revenge game for him, but like Ryan said, I think it's going to go through the air. I think the Miami, if anything, Jeff Wilson is going to set up the pass, but I don't think he's going to get, near the end zone. And even if he does, I think that front line and that pass rush or whatever from the 49ers is probably going to make them scared or stop them.
You would need like 6 receptions, I think, to be fantasy relevant this week. I mean, they haven't allowed a score in the second half of games.
That's the thing is Jeff Wilson is relying on touchdowns so much. He scored a touchdown every single week he's been with the Dolphins. I just don't know what the likelihood of that happening against San Francisco is. So I'm going to go with you guys, and I'm going to go Pollard here.
Yeah, I think Pollard as well, I think, has a better chance of breaking off for a touchdown.
Yeah. Against Indianapolis. All right, so we're unanimous. Tony Pollard. Next question, Tua Tagovailoa at San Francisco, the quarterback for the Dolphins, or Geno Smith at the Los Angeles Rams. Keone, why don't you take this one?
I feel like you picked this one just to make me uncomfortable. And, this is a real Sophie's choice for me. Tua has the tougher matchup versus the 49ers, which is just a great defense. Low key, though, I think this is a potential Super Bowl preview for later this season. Just saying, throwing it out there now. He is the better quarterback objectively, I think, at least right now, especially since he has not lost a game that he has started and finished this year. But that pass rush and overall defense is just so good. Meanwhile, to be consistent with something I'm going to talk about later, the Seahawks-Rams game I think is going to be very ground heavy, at least from the Seahawks side. That means less fantasy points for Geno. So I love them both. They both have a special place in my heart. But despite the bad matchup, I think the quote unquote undefeated streak for Tua stays alive. Just barely, maybe, but I think it stays alive. I think they find a way to beat the 49ers, and it'll be through the air. So it'll be ugly, but I believe in the Samoan slingshot.
I'm going to go, I want to say Geno. I do think Geno's going to score more points, but I'm so scared because Jalen Ramsey is still there to cover DK Metcalf. But Aaron Donald's out. Give me Gino.
Yeah, I think this one's really tough because both top tier streaming options this season. I mean, neither of these guys probably drafted in many places. Tua gonna have to pass the ball against San Francisco, but that defense is nasty. Gino probably not gonna have to pass that much against the Rams. I'm gonna go with Geno Smith here. San Francisco's defense is just so good. They could, hold the Dolphins to 14 points or so. So I'll go with Geno. Take a shot down the sideline to Lockett.
He does throw beautiful passes to Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, so we go Geno Smith there, just barely though. Last question, Brian Robinson at the New York Giants or Juju Smith-Schuster at Cincinnati? This one's tougher.
This is not a terrible matchup for Robinson, who faces the Giants, who are smack dabble in the middle of run defenses. They have also allowed over 150 yards to running backs in the past 2 weeks, each of the past 2 weeks, and 5 touchdowns over that same span. Meanwhile, Robinson is averaging over 17 carries per game over the last 2 games and 91 total yards per game. 17 touches, I believe. 91 total yards per game, though, in the past 2. Smith-Schuster, I believe, is coming out of concussion protocol, but faces a potentially tough Cincinnati defense. They've shown up at times. So it depends on if you think this is going to be a shootout or not, which it could be. But they've been a top 10 defense versus receivers. I'm going to go with Brian Robinson because I'm going to take the hot hand versus the cold team.
I'm going to go Juju. I think this game is a Travis Kelce and Juju game. Patrick Mahomes, that's been the first 2 looks. You're right. Last week he did come off the concussion. It kind of seemed like they didn't care about the game that much. I mean, they had they were in the red zone 6 times, only had 1 touchdown or something. The Chiefs offense wasn't going. This is a big game, revenge game for the Chiefs. Also major for playoff seeding. I think this is a 1-2 Travis Kelce, Juju, Patrick Mahomes uses his legs. Give me Juju.
Brian Robinson 2 weeks ago against Houston, a team you can run all over, does virtually nothing. And then last week against Atlanta, a team you can throw all over, he runs all over them. I mean, yeah, he had a receiving touchdown, so yeah, you could still count that, I guess, towards it. But I don't know what to do with this guy. Does he run good against bad defenses or run good against? Well, I guess Atlanta's not a good defense, but so it's really so up and down for Brian Robinson. Meanwhile, Juju, we know what he is. Patrick Mahomes gives him the ball, he's going to be good. If he doesn't, well, it could go to 5 other people. So, kind of taking your shot there. I'll take the upside with Juju playing against Cincinnati. I think that there's going to be some targets to go around and maybe a touchdown to throw in. So, yeah, I'll go with Juju. So Juju barely wins out there in that last question as well. And that'll do it for the questions. Let's move on to our next segment. No Flex Zone.
Hey. No Flex Zone. Hey. No Flex Zone. Hey. They know better. Hey.
All right, so who is a player people might be thinking about flexing this week that you're saying to stay away from, bench them instead?
We've said it a lot this year. Amari Cooper. Plain and simple. It's an away game for the Cleveland Browns. If we follow the pattern, 1's a point, 2's a line, 3's a trend. If we follow that philosophy, Cooper does not perform well in games where they have to fly. So there's the caveat, little asterisk there, because the game versus Buffalo, which was in Detroit, the Browns drove to that game. They rode the bus. The trend still stands. Even though the Texans are a very bad team, the Browns are likely to get up early on them and just run the ball and if Nick Chubb, if the Chubb train, is slowing down on the track, they're just going to put in Kareem Hunt, and he's probably going to do just as well. So why would they need to pass the ball in this game? The Texans are also somehow a top 5 defense versus the receiver in this year. They're allowing under the league average by 3 points per game. They've also only allowed 4 touchdowns to receivers this year and no more than 1 to the position in a game in 2022. So I say follow the trend and keep Cooper on the bench for this away game this week.
Someone.
Sorry. I apologize. I apologize. You go ahead.
Someone I am not playing this week. Devin Singletary, running back
so
for
fuck you, because that was my pick, and you picked him first. So you know that. No, just kidding. Sorry.
No, I mean, I think it's a pretty good pick. Playing against New England. New England is a pretty good defense against the running back position. They've only given up 1 touchdown to the running back position all season. And Devin Singletary is, he's on a really good team. He's been very up and down. He's the running back 23 on the season right now. And it's just that his highs are so high. He has 3 finishes inside the top 12, 4 finishes inside the top 15. But he also has 3 finishes outside the top 38. He's sitting right around, running back 24 to 36 is where he finishes most week, which averages out to a top 2 running back, top 24 running back on the end of the season. But week to week, you don't know if you can play him. Singletary has been pretty good some weeks, but against New England, I really don't want to play him. I'm trying to stay away. I think it's going to be a Josh Allen game.
So here, if this says anything, folks, all 3 of us were thinking about Devin Singletary for this segment. So that should say something about not playing him this week.
Yeah, great pick. I'm gonna start off with DK Metcalf going against the Rams. Listen, Aaron Donald's gone. There's 2 pieces left: Jalen Ramsey and what's his name? Bobby Wagner. I forgot his name for a second. Left on defense. That have any real, anything on the line. Basically, just pride and legacy. DK Metcalf last 4 games versus the Rams in regular season, less than 5 receptions, less than 60 yards, and 0.5 touchdowns. It's just not a great matchup for him. Lockett, I can see Noah Fant. I can see the run game all get going, and maybe DK Metcalf sneaks in the end zone. But I just think he's a touchdown-dependent wide receiver 2 right now for this game.
Interesting. My second no flex zone player is Latavius Murray. I was thankful for him last week, but this Denver offense looks really bad. The Ravens are a top 10 run defense this year. We all know the woes of the Broncos have had on offense. And while Murray has been good the past few weeks, he needs a touchdown, I think, to be a value at this flex spot. And the Ravens defense has only allowed 4 touchdowns this year to running backs. And they've kept the position out of the end zone in the past 3 weeks that they have played, because there's a bye week in there. I like Murray. He's a good player, but I hate this offense. And they will likely have to abandon the run at some point to try and get to their 16 points in a game. I feel like that's their milestone, while still losing. This defense seems to be mad at Russ. I'm mad at Russ. Everybody who loves football should be mad at Russ. And you can only stay neutral for so long. And so I think it's going to be a down week for Murray, unfortunately.
I got Treylon Burks as my second no flex zone player. The last 2 weeks have been fantastic for Treylon Burks, averaging 7 targets, 5.5 receptions, 90.5 yards, which is where he gets you, and a half a touchdown. Not a receiving touchdown, but he got a touchdown. Those down the field plays where Burks goes up and gets the ball, goes and gets it, that pass from Tannehill, they've been amazing. And while he looks to be the wide receiver one when he's on the field and on those plays, he's still third in snaps amongst wide receivers on his team. Robert Woods and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine are both playing 75% plus of the snaps, while Treylon Burks still hasn't seen 70% of the snaps all season. The Titans also play the Eagles this week, a very stout defense, only allowing 57% of passes to be completed, second best only to the Giants. Meanwhile, you low-key can run on the Eagles, giving up over 1,000 yards on the ground already, and one of only 7 teams to give up double-digit touchdowns to the running back position. Everyone knows this Titans team still goes through King Henry, just a smash mouth, run first team entering December. It's Henry's favorite time of the year. I mean, I don't know whether it's snowball fights or sledding or just waking up to fresh snowfall. He loves December. So while Burks is a valuable fantasy asset going forward, I am avoiding playing him this week.
All right. My last guy, this is no flex zone. Adam Thielen going against the Jets this weekend. The Jets are a top 3 defense in receiving yards allowed to wide receivers and receptions allowed to wide receivers. And they're in the top 10 of receiving touchdowns allowed to wide receivers. I think this game could be a low-scoring affair. The fact is that I think Cook could maybe get on the ground a little bit. And I think it's just Jefferson game. But I think that this cornerback duo, this defense that the Jets have, could slow down everyone else.
All right. I like it. All right, let's get into some bold predictions.
A bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
So we're just going to have some fun here on the podcast. We're going to throw out some predictions for week 13, and producer Ian is going to come on and rate him for us, whether he thinks they're boring, he thinks they're doable, he thinks that's a spicy one, or whatever. Let's just have some fun.
I'm starting this shit out. Derrick Henry under 50 yards and no receive or rushing touchdown. Fuck Derrick Henry. We like the cold too, motherfuckers.
Whoa.
Is that your real prediction, or is this just because...
Now it is. I like it. You know what? I like it. I like it. My other prediction was Deontay Johnson catches a touchdown versus Atlanta, which he hasn't done in 94 targets. He literally doesn't have a single touchdown. But you know what? Let me root for the Eagles, and let me say fuck Derrick Henry. Under 50 50 or less rushing yards and no touchdown.
I could put a bet on that if you would like.
No, I don't want to bet on it. This is bold predictions.
This is bold predictions. That's why I had to throw it out there. See how bold of a prediction.
He might have that in the first quarter, but fuck it. I'm saying he doesn't have it all game, baby.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna say that is a very spicy one. That is honestly extremely bold of you.
Be careful though. It's spicy.
Derrick Henry, and this will be December now officially, is like it's the hot cocoa.
I know what he is.
He loves.
I know what he is. It's okay.
And this team really runs through him. So I think that is probably might be the boldest take of this segment so far, unless somebody says something fucking absolutely wild. Under 50 yards,
50 or under.
And the
Did you say 50 or 100?
No, 50 or under.
Oh.
Exactly.
It's either going to be under 50. It's going to be 50 or under, or he's going to have like 250 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I can believe the no touchdown. I can't. I don't think I can believe the under 50.
Wild. That's
wild.
Don't be using this as the breakout video. Fuck you, Ian. I know you're trying to look stupid out here.
I'm
gonna post that shit till Monday. I don't care.
Just ever post it.
All right, I got a bold prediction because I went spicy. I don't know if I could beat that one, but all right, I got Mike Evans, wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going up against the Saints. He's gonna have 3 or less receptions, pretty normal, but he's still gonna be a top 12 fantasy wide receiver on the week.
Do you want to go more in depth? Do you think he's going to be like 3 for 3 touchdowns?
Well, yeah, he's gonna have to do something crazy, 3 for 2 touchdowns, or 2
Well, do you think he
huge
can be
receptions and a touchdown.
You think he's going to recreate that Randy Moss game where it was like 3 for 150?
No.
Touchdowns?
It depends. If Lattimore is there, no. That's why I think this one could be crazy, because if Lattimore plays, Lattimore is known to shut Mike Evans down. Which
if he doesn't play, Mike Evans might get more than 3 receptions.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is if he doesn't play.
I think the boldness of this is still being top 12 with 3 or less. But if there's a player in the NFL that can do it and do it consistently, it's Mike Evans. This one's bold, but it's still not as bold as I think Ryan's. Ryan's fandom really.
Ryan dropped that out of nowhere, bro.
I should have done that one last.
I know. Come on, bro.
I'm a spare for moment type of guy. I didn't study in high school. I'm not studying for this.
Killed the whole moment of the segment.
Really, I was just trying to build you guys up so you guys go even wilder.
No.
All right, Keone.
I know you guys. Come on, bro. My name is Ryan Wild Williams. You don't think I can drop wild shit down?
So, I did I had arguments prepared with mine just because how we do all our other things, but I'll just start with the thing. I think Kenneth Walker, as I alluded to earlier in a way, I think Kenneth Walker of the Seattle Seahawks will have 3 touchdowns and over 100 yards versus the Rams.
Lukewarm. It's bold because 3 touchdowns is hard.
Yeah.
For any NFL player, but I can see it.
Can I give you my argument?
Yeah, go ahead. Give it the argument.
Okay.
I can see it happening.
Between the departure of Aaron Donald due to injury, which apparently is the first time he's missed a game due to injury in his career, and the big playmaking ability that Walker has, I think he has the potential to take advantage of a Rams defensive line that is missing its best weapon, basically the team's best weapon. Walker is a guy who plays better with a larger volume, and I think the Seahawks use the Donald departure to tee up on a lot of runs. In his 3 games with over 20 carries, he is averaging 5.37 yards per carry compared to his games with under 20 carries, which is averaging 4.26 yards per carry, which is still really good. I think they repeatedly attack the hole, and he can break off tackles of guys like Jalen Ramsey. Just look at that Deebo Samuel footage, where he made Ramsey look like a fool. And the others in the secondary. The Rams have been a top 10 rushing defense so far, allowing only 6 touchdowns to running backs. So he'll get half of that in this game. And they've only had 2 games over 100 yards in this season to running backs. However, if the Rams are not morally defeated already, I think Kenneth Walker will act like Bane this week and say, "Oh, yes, I was wondering what would break first, your spirit or your body?" As he finally destroys the spines of the reigning Super Bowl champs. Yeah. I mostly wanted to do it just for that Bane impression. So
I'm proud of you, bud.
thank you.
I can see it all happening. It's just the 3 touchdowns is hard for any NFL player to get. You said 2 touchdowns. I would have said this is not a bold take at all.
Yeah, that's why I said 3.
3? Yeah, a little bold.
Yeah,
All of it should be at least a little bold.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. All right. Ryan, what's your next one?
All right, Trevor Lawrence, 400 passing yards, 3 touchdowns versus Detroit. They win back-to-back games, and that's it.
Oh, 0% bold. This is I believe.
400 passing yards, I think, is the
It's a
boldest part.
career high.
Hard part. That's the hard part. But
That's a
little sneak
career
peek.
high.
I started writing my DFS article for this week, and Trevor Lawrence was my initial one, but he was slightly too expensive.
All right, fine.
And I was
I'll
literally
boost it up. Fuck it. Trevor Lawrence, 450 yards
Okay,
passing
that's-
and
oh my god.
4 passing touchdowns, 1
Six
rushing touchdown.
touchdown. No, okay, that's too much.
5 total. No, just
That's too much. No, 400 is bold. 400's hard to get. It's a big number to get. But I really like this one. I didn't like your Derrick Henry one. I just can't. I can't agree with that one. That's why it's so bold. This one I can get real behind and be like, hell yeah, let's see it. Let's see it.
It's
Elon.
403. But it would have been career high in passing yards.
Yeah, no, it's not an easy feat to get.
No.
Yeah,
Let's just play Detroit.
you're hoping for a shootout, to be honest. Let's go, Zay Jones.
All right. My other bold prediction. The Bills lose Thursday night to the Patriots and go winless against AFC East division rivals on the year.
And Ramondre
So
Stevenson
far.
catches 20 passes.
This one I think is more bold than the Derrick Henry.
Dang.
I think the fact that you're saying that the Bills have 6 losses all
No.
the
Go
AFC.
winless up to this point. This is just a
Oh.
week 13 prediction.
Oh,
The prediction is they lose Thursday night. They have already
Oh.
lost. They've already lost to the Dolphins and the Jets once.
yeah.
They play the Patriots this week, and then they go back to back Jets and Dolphins, and then they play the Patriots again. So this is their third division opponent, AFC West or AFC East opponent. This will be their third loss if they lose.
Oh, so you're not. So this isn't saying that they're going to lose
The
to the
Red-
AFC East the whole year.
no.
Oh, so they get that.
No.
That's
yeah.
bold. That's
Yeah,
a real bold one. If you're saying they're going 0-6 in division,
Well, I'm no. They will go 0-3 in the
So far.
division.
They
Oh,
will not finish above 500 in the division.
are they at New England? I actually don't know that. I don't remember.
I think it is.
I believe
I
it's
want
not.
it-
Yes, I knew
I
it.
think, yeah.
Yeah,
Still,
a little bold, but I can see it. They've been dropping random games that they probably shouldn't be dropping. And anytime you have to go into New England, it's a hard game. Plus, it's a Thursday night. Thursday night it's just like it's kind of a toss up. All normalcy goes out the window on Thursday nights. So I don't see it being that bold. I don't think I'd make the bet. I don't think I'd bet on the Patriots, but as a good American, I can't bet on the Patriots. It's hard. So now, if you want to say 0-6, you want to say they lose all division games. That means they lose what, 4 in a row? Or no, they lose
or well,
3 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one would be very spicy.
And then they play in Buffalo in week 18 against the Patriots.
Could be a
Good
real
point.
snowy game.
Yeah, but the Patriots aren't playing for anything at that point. Meanwhile, the Bills actually might be.
Well, they could be playing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, the whole AFC East right now is, I think, in playoffs. If it ended today, or at least they're near playoffs. So that one's not bad. Keone, what's your last one?
alrighty. Jameis Winston will play in this game and throw 2 touchdowns to Chris Olave in the second half alone.
Manifesting.
So this is what's going to happen.
We're rooting for it.
This is what's going to happen. It's a big divisional game between the NFC South teams, all under 500. They're all within 1 win of each other. The Bucks are 5-6. The Saints are 4-8. The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, is firing blanks, and it's time for the Crab Man, Jameis Winston, to come to Florida and throw some Jameis Juju on Tampa Bay. It's a Monday night game in prime time. What's a better time for him to come in and take back the starting spot And also, get two of Chris Olave only has 3 touchdowns on the year. So getting 2 in the second half when Jameis comes in, because Andy Dalton, they score 0 points in that first half. So that'll be 6 quarters without scoring any points, meaning they're in desperation mode and they have to bring in Jameis Winston. And that's when he comes in the second half. Cheers. Well, probably not cheers because it's in Tampa Bay. But there might be cheers. I don't know. He comes in the second half, throws 2 touchdowns to Chris Olave to lead them to a win. At least 2 touchdowns to Chris Olave. He might throw more, but yeah.
This feels like a parlay of things to happen. Not only does Jameis have to play, but then he has to pass 2 touchdowns. Not only does he have to pass 2 touchdowns, they both have to be to Olave, and then they have to win. It's just too much. I think it's very bold. And I think the Olave 2 touchdowns, if you just said that alone, regardless of quarterback, I think that's a good one. That's a good take. Mm-hmm. We can manifest that. The Jameis Winston coming in and throwing 2 touchdowns, they seem to just not want Jameis.
Yeah. I think it's an Andy Dalton injury that is the only way that this happens.
Yeah. I think that's the only problem.
I don't know. I know.
So
but I think the out, though, the only other out besides an injury, of course, is that it's 6 scoreless quarters.
They don't seem to care. They don't. I understand what you're saying. They should. They just don't seem to. So what is more likely, Andy Dalton getting injured or Derrick Henry getting injured? Because I think that determines what is more bold.
Oh, Derrick Henry's going to be healthy the whole game.
But he's still going to score.
Stays healthy and only
Dr. Wylan Williams over here. It wouldn't surprise me if Derrick Henry gets 50 yards and then gets injured. Like he ends the game with 56. 2 drives, 56, hurts his knee,
scores a touchdown on one of them.
Yeah. 80-yard runs, just something stupid like that. That's actually my favorite bold take for me. 45+ yard run from Derrick Henry, first drive of the game. First drive that they're on offense. I think Andy Dalton's more likely to get injured than Derrick Henry.
He's just old.
Also, if he gets up stumbling one time, the NFL's going to be like, yep, put him in protocol. Like he's so. Yeah, I think overall Ryan's was probably the most bold. Keone came in at the end with a really bold one too, just because they're not playing Jameis Winston. For some reason, they still will. So, yeah, that's what I think.
All right. Thank you for helping us with that segment. And thank you so much for listening to the podcast. That'll do it for us here today. Remember, like, subscribe, follow wherever you are listening to this, and tell your friends because we're having fun and giving you great fantasy football advice. The playoffs are almost here, so let's make those playoff pushes and let's get some championships placed on the mantle. Follow us on all social media at FFH.com. Questions before and after recording this podcast you are listening to right now. Subscribe to our YouTube, Daydreamer Media. Just go ahead and look us up over there. Subscribe to it. If you guys like seeing our beautiful faces, we appreciate it. Yeah, let us know how you feel. Drop some comments, leave, likes, do all that fun stuff. Click the notification bell so that way you guys never miss whenever we go live or whenever we drop something. And remember, stay dreaming.
Stay dreaming.
Stay dreaming.